Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of SavSocial912. I'm here with the founders of the House of Coloure, which is a burlesque group in downtown Savannah. So I have Monochrome and Techna Coloure, and they're going to answer all of my questions about newbie burlesque. You guys have an event coming up called Tits Bits, which is going to be April 11th at 8 p.m. At the Sentient Bean. Great. And tickets are $10. So I met Techna at the Alice in Wonderland interview, and you told me about all these great newbie burlesque events.
Absolutely.
So I think burlesque is something that's definitely piqued my interest, and I'm sure there's other people in town who are curious about the scene and the different troupes and what goes into it. So, let's start at the beginning. If I'm a burlesque newbie, where do I even start?
Well, I think you're missing something if we're going to really do this the right way.
Okay, hang on a second.
You said piqued your interest.
Yes. Okay, hold on.
Ta-da! Much better. Oh, who is she?
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I can't believe I am one step closer to being a burlesque queen.
I think you already are.
I feel it. So, okay, now that we're all appropriately dressed to talk about burlesque, why don't we just start by talking about the Tits and Bits show, and then you can kind of give me more pointers on what a newbie in burlesque would expect. So, running into Tits and Bits, once again, this is April 11th at 8 p.m. at the Sentient Bean. So what are we expecting with a newbie show?
Yes, so it's all of my friends and some people I know that have never done burlesque ever. And I was like, I think you'd be really good at it. And they're like, that sounds so fun. So we all, picked names for them. Well, a lot of them came up with it on their own. And music and costumes. And we're going to put on a show.
Exciting. So, what type of musical numbers are these going to be? It's not singing, right? It's singing.
Some of it. There is one number where they're singing and stripping. And that's kind of the fun part about burlesque is it can be kind of whatever you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
But most of it is we've got different kinds of music. Everybody's doing something very different. Yes, we have ballet, we have singing, but this is all as burlesque. So it's singing while, teasing. It's ballet while teasing.
So that's a foundational part of burlesque too, is that you shed the layers of your costume.
Yeah, it's definitely shedding layers. It's almost as if you're a little caterpillar turning into a butterfly. And it's kind of just making that the most you that your number can be.
Right.
So it can be artsy, it can be sexy, it can be sad and emotional.
A lot of the ones I do are just stupid. Right. I've seen a lot of really funny.
That's so silly.
I'm gonna be an iPhone for Tits and Bits with, Snapchat and Instagram and Vine all over me, and I'm gonna take them off. I hit the mic. You're welcome. And I've done the one slur from the Lorax. It can be stupid too.
Yeah. Or I love how there's so many different dimensions and elements to burlesque, because I think people who kind of only know the surface level of it are oh, this could be sexy strippiness, but it's real. I think it's more sensual performance art. Yeah. And you guys wear, you were telling me off cameras, safety thongs. So, you have
safety pasties, safety thongs.
So you guys wear pasties and extra underwear just so that nothing goes over the inappropriateness. Absolutely. But I think there is something really cool about exploring your sensuality and kind of adapting an alter ego.
Yes.
So as a newbie, what kind of goes into getting established? Or I got the outfit.
Yeah, you got the outfit, so you're one step closer. Yes. Kind of as a newbie, the next thing would be to find a mentor. It's easiest to get in there if you can find a mentor, somebody that you admire a lot. I know for us, House of Coloure is a house of newbies for newbies. So we're both new to the burlesque scene, especially in comparison to a lot of other performers out there. Mm-hmm. But we take in people who really want to do it, and we dress them up, get them ready, prepare them for everything that they could need for burlesque, help them pick a song, help them pick a name, help them create a choreographed number. And it doesn't even have to be super dancey, especially because some people, they worry because they don't have dance backgrounds. But you don't need it. It's just kind of whatever makes you feel fulfilled and artsy and sexy.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love that. And I think there are a lot of people in this town who are probably curious about burlesque and want to know more. So jumping off from this conversation, though, House of Coloure is just turning a year old, right?
Yes.
Like you two met at another theater event, or, there was a play that was going on. So do you want to tell us a little bit about how you two came together and started this whole troupe?
Yeah.
Or this house?
So we actually met doing Young Frankenstein with the Savannah Cabaret
At Club 1.
We were both in the ensemble, and if you know anything about ensemble, you're either on stage the entire time or you're backstage the entire time. And I think Young Frank was a good mix of that. And so during any time of our backstage, we were like, do you want to start a burlesque troupe with me? Yes, we should very much do that. How do we do that? Ella, and we would ask Elementary, who was also in the show, like, hey, how do we get started? That kind of thing.
Yes, he was very seasoned. And
we just came up with stuff off the bat. Just, hey, what if we did like a color theme? And I do like Technicolor, like Technicolor, and you do monochrome, and then another member of our troupe is rainbow.
Yeah, and we just had fun with it. And we practiced all summer long. Just, we didn't have, any idea when we would perform, but we wanted to have stuff ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just submitted an idea for a show with Justin and Val, who you just did an interview with, and they were open to, letting Rainbow and I try. You weren't available that day.
I wasn't.
But yeah.
I wanted to be.
That was my first show 3 monthts ago, and Tits Bits was
my stand-up strip down.
Yeah, which they're doing again.
Yeah, they are doing.
On May 23rd at Victory North. But this Tits Bits will be my 10th show. So I've been so lucky to have such great mentors who are willing to give me opportunities.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about Star Search. So that's like a burlesque competition at Club 1 for newbies, right? Or is it anybody?
So
tell me a little bit.
Star Search at Club 1 happens at the last Thursday of every month. And it is a competition for pretty much anybody that wants to perform. It's like drag and burlesque. Some people sing. Cool. It's kind of whatever art that you want to put out there, and then you get judged on like costumes, song choice,
choreography, entertainment value, and you get really amazing feedback from very talented burlesque dancers that you look up to. I've already learned so much just from doing it twice. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, that sounds exciting. I feel like I'm kind of just like unboxing all the different opportunities in Savannah. Like, we kind of originally thought, Club 1 is kind of where all the drag, burlesque, cabaret shows are happening. But then when you and I met at the last interview, finding out that the Bean is hosting, burlesque shows, especially for newbies, where it's a little bit of a smaller setting, maybe a little bit less intimidating. And then now I'm finding Victory North is also doing burlesque shows. And I'm sure there's a few other places in town.
Yes,
that also do it.
Absolutely. And it's kind of one of those things where a lot more places in Savannah are open to it than you think. You just kind of have to ask around and see if they'll take that leap with you.
I've been asking libraries.
Oh, yeah.
I've been, because it's just like anywhere you're like, it's really hard now. Like, I'm sure my friends are so done with me. We'll go to a restaurant and I'm like, you know what? I could see this being a burlesque venue. Or they're like, just we do like a meal.
That would make a good stage.
Yeah, well, I think that's part of this city is like there's an amazing network of people, and it's really supportive of like the creative and art scene. So like it's never hurts to like ask someone. The worst they say is no. The best they say is yes, and then suddenly you got the new place to put on and perform. So, but I'm really proud of you guys for just like within a year coming together, building a whole establishment with your troupe. You guys said you have babies that you have been helping you along. And then to actually have events, around town and offer newbies an opportunity to explore burlesque. I think you're doing really good work, or, starting a legacy that I hope lives on for a long time. So before we close out of this, I want to hear about the next event you guys have in May, which is Lana Del Rey themed.
Yes. So the next event that we're having, sponsored by Making Mono Productions, is Young and Beautiful. It is a Lana Del Rey themed drag and burlesque show happening on May 3rd at the Sentient Bean at 8 p.m.
Yes.
And we're really excited about it. It's a mix of newbies and seasoned veterans. So there's lots of people coming out. So I know we're all going to be there, everyone from our house, as well as
some members of the Dollhouse, which inspired us to even try Sentient Bean, because we're like a coffee shop, but then they had these amazing drag and burlesque shows at night. And so Evie Noir, the mother of the Dollhouse, would put on shows there, and that's kind of where we found our place. So a lot of them are performing with us for Lana Del Rey.
Mm-hmm.
And also Arabica Black, Corbin Monoxide, Dolce Delicious. Those are pretty big names in burlesque.
Yeah. Great. So Lana Del Rey is going to be playing on May 3rd, right, at 8 p.m. at the Sentient Bean. Mm-hmm. And my last question is, obviously you guys have House of Coloure, but are there any other troupes in town that you want to like highlight or just explain? That it's not just you guys, like plenty out there.
Oh, yeah, there's a ton of other. I know Bay Street Bombshells, which you're a part of, is another performing burlesque troupe.
The night before Tits Bits, you can see the Cult Classics show that we're doing.
Exciting.
Yeah, that's happening at Club 1.
Yes.
And then I know that, there's Dollhouse, which we've mentioned several other times.
Camp Delicious, which is, I think, entirely made of Star Search winners.
I believe
year-round winners, which they're so talented. There is...
There's House of Gant. There's House of Threats. Which is mothered by Romy, Miss Amorous the Empress.
Yes.
One of my best friends in the whole world.
Love it.
Yeah, we are not the only ones.
There's a ton of
the newest ones, maybe?
Yeah, we might be the most baby of everyone.
Yeah.
Well, I love that. So anyone who's listening to this podcast, definitely come out and support the burlesque shows happening at the Bean. But also, if you're interested in getting involved, like myself, it just takes, asking some questions, and then suddenly you're in some fishnets and have a bunch of corsets and all that fun stuff on. So I would definitely recommend going to the Bean, even if you're just curious and want to have a good night watching the show, or if you want to get involved, please reach out to these ladies to find out how, because it's a really fun activity to explore and pursue. How can we find you guys?
So we are available on Instagram and on TikTok now. We have at House of Coloure on
the House of Coloure.
Yeah, at the House of Coloure on Instagram. At Techna on Instagram, at Make You Moan Aloud on Instagram, and at Make You Moan Aloud on TikTok.
Yes,
love it.
And every show that Make You Mona Productions puts on, I will post on my Instagram story asking if anybody wants to do it. So that is your opportunity to swipe up and tell me if you want to do it, or just DM me at Make You Mona Loud and we'll figure it out.
Love it. So thank you guys again for watching another episode of the SavSocial912 Podcast. I feel like I'm one step closer to exploring
I'll get you in there. One day I'll get you in there.
I'm exploring my burlesque career. Yes, I know I'll have to come up with an ego and a number and all that stuff, but I'm really glad I got to talk to y'all just to understand like the steps of exploring something like this. So like, thanks for taking the time, sharing your knowledge, and getting me a burlesque makeover.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited. I may follow up with you guys prior to your Lana event.
But love that.
Until then, stay social, Savannah.